Nursery.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what?
Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip
With your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now,
A man who has not one, but three first names.
David Scott Kelly.
Underneath the ball, though, posted up on AMAC, working his way into the paint. Turnaround shot is good. Boy, Umar off to a quick start. He just went over 1,000 points now in his Arizona career, and he's got 9 tonight.
Umar Ballo was the show last night, or at least part of the show anyway. 22 points, 8 for 8 from the floor for Umar Ballo last night at McHale Center in an impressive and relatively easy 91-65 win over the California Golden Bears for the Arizona Wildcats. Umar Ballo joining the 1,000-point club. You know, it looks like, and I could be wrong, it looks like it's been a minute since we last had somebody join this club. I think Dusan Ristich was the last to do it in 2018. So it's been about, that would be 6 years, 6 seasons since we had someone enter into this club. Both Alonzo Trier and Dusan Ristich both entered it in 2018, but does not appear that there has been anybody into that club since 2018. So welcome to the family of now 54. Yes, 54, Umar Ballo.
It's because they go to the NBA before they get to that.
Well, I mean,
that threshold.
Dusan was here. I think he played an entire 4 years.
Well, that's what I mean. The guys who play for 4 years get to the threshold, but the guys who, like Ben Matherin, you think he would have scored 1,000? Like there are a lot of guys I think that could be on that list who got paid instead of sticking around long enough to pass 1,000.
So should we look at what's a? I guess I don't know. What's a better? I mean, should we look at scoring average then maybe as a better indicator of the greatest? Career scores.
Even then,
they don't really put that in here, though, I don't think.
Even then, you're talking about team makeup. You know, a lot of teams will come in really balanced. Like this year's team, you know, Caleb Love's 36-point outburst aside, is a very balanced scoring team, right?
Yeah.
So there isn't going to be a guy averaging 22, 23 per game. I remember way back in the early 90s when Khalid and Damon were doing their thing. Those are two 20, 19, and 23-point scorers, right? Every single given night, they could put up 40. But a lot of the teams more recently, We've talked so much about Tommy Lloyd's system and how the guys really like to pass the ball around. That lends itself to a lot of different guys getting buckets. So, yeah, I mean, you need to have a really exceptional scorer, and you need to have a guy who, within that offensive scheme, is going to see a ton of looks. Tubelis, prime example, because guess what? He could score from that elbow. He could score from 15 out. He could take his man off the dribble, especially in straight line drives, and he was a really, really good rim runner. So in that offense, that early offense, the guards would always look for him. So that's a guy that you look to put up a ton of points, right?
Highest scoring average in school history, Popcorn, Coney Norman, 24 points a game. 1973, 1974. Joe Skaisgar, who we talked about last night on the postgame show, second at 20 points a game. Sean Elliott, Bill Warner, Bob Elliott, Eric Money, all at 19 points per game. Ernie McCray, Derek Williams at 18. Chris Mills at 17. Chase Budinger at 17. That's your top 10 in terms of scoring average at the moment at Arizona. So in terms of this century, you've only got two guys on that list, Derek Williams and Chase Budinger. And both of those guys, Derek was here 2 years. Chase was here 3.
And they needed every single point from those guys. right? I mean, you're talking about especially Chase's era because there's so many NBA ISO plays that were run there. So, and obviously, the early first couple of years of Sean Miller in town, they hadn't been recruiting for a couple of years prior to that because all the interim coaches. So there wasn't a ton of depth. But yeah, I just think exceptional individual scorers, because of the high skill level the NBA has found himself in the last 10, 15 years. It's not about athleticism anymore. It's really about skill level first. Most of the guys who can put up 20 a night, they don't last too long unless they're guys like Zach Edey, who clearly has a place in the NBA. However, he had a place in the NBA in the 1980s, right? 1990s. And if he wants to find himself, he needs to be able to work on his skills that bring him away from the basket because that's what modern centers do at that level.
In terms of the guys on the 1,000 club list, I'm just looking at, obviously Sean Elliott is at the top of the list in terms of total points scored. He scored close to or just over 2,500 points in his career. He averaged 19 a game. And I mentioned Bob Elliott. The Elliots are at the top. Sean and Bob, no relation.
Yep.
They both averaged 19 points a game. Then it dips down in terms of the total points. Jason Gardner averaged 15. Salim Stoudemire averaged 15. Khalid Reeves averaged 15. And Damon Stoudemire averaged 15 points per game. That's in terms of the total point category at the University of Arizona. So you figure how many games we got left? Probably about 12, but maybe potentially.
Oh, you mean
potentially we could have maybe 12 to 13 games left. So you figure he could maybe score. He could get into he definitely could get into the 1,100. I don't know if he can get into the 1,200 club.
There are 10 actual games left on the schedule, plus at least one game in the Pac-12 tournament, right? Plus at least one game in the NCAA tournament. So at least 12 more games.
All right. Well, we shall see. We shall see if he can get into the 1,100 club. Umar Balo. That would put him with Conil Norman, Caleb Tarzuski, Dusan Ristich, Luke Walton, Ray O's, Craig McMillan, Herm the Germ, Herm Harris, Judd Buechler, Gabe York, Phil Taylor, and Gilbert Arenas.
I love Judd Buechler, by the way. He's my favorite.
Yeah.
Shout out to Matt Othick and Matt Muehlbach for being the two lowest point per game scorers on the 1,000-point list as well.
Yeah, Matt Muehlbach averaged 8 points per game. Matt Othick averaged 8 points per game. But there's quite a few guys on here that averaged only 8 points a game.
Back in those days, you played, 8 minutes as a freshman, 16 minutes as a sophomore, up to 25 or so as a junior, and then, you were the team leader and potential all Pac-12 guy as a senior. It was just, there was levels to that stuff. So players would wait their turn, and yet they would get meaningful minutes, especially, those days were a lot of blowouts. So you recall from your trips as a basketball manager how good those Arizona teams were in the late 80s into the mid-90s. A lot of those guys we're talking about, they played behind some great players. I mean, Matt Othick and Matt Muehlbach played behind Damon those guys in that era. That was afterwards. But they obviously played with Kerr and Lofton and all those guys. So I mean, there was a lot of overlap and a lot of guys who didn't put up tons of numbers as freshmen, but got the 1,000-point at the end because they were here on campus for such a long time.
So there are 11 players on the 1,000-point club who averaged single digits.
Yep.
The guy at the top of that list of 11 played in this century. You want to take a guess who that was? It's not any. I already named some guys.
Well, it'd have to be a 4-year guy. So
I already named some guys. It's not a name I've dropped already today on the show.
Well,
but it's one of my originals. When I say my originals, it's somebody who was on the team when I first got here in 2008, 2009. That was my first season here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the guys that would be in that would qualify in the last 20 years in that list would be like the Tarzuskis and, Kyle Fogg type people.
Kyle Fogg. He is the highest single point per game average guy that's on this list. He's 24th all time in total scoring. He averaged, 9.6, which in my book is 10 points.
Round it up.
Yeah, because I round up. So he might not even count on that. The next down, I'll give you the whole list of guys, quote, single digits, although if we're rounding up, that list of 11 now goes to about 9 because we'll take off Kyle, who averaged 9.6, and we'll take off Rayos, who averaged 9.8. But the other guys on the list, single-digit averages, Caleb Tarczewski, 9, Dusan Ristich, 8, Luke Walton, 9, Craig McMillan, 8, Judd Buechler, 9, Gabe York, 9, A.J. Bramlett, 9, Matt Othick, 8, Matt Muehlbach, 8.
Yeah, I mean, again, so much balance on so many of those teams as well.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking at in the numbers that you're putting up there. And then, of course, there's the guys lower on the list who didn't last 3 or 4 years.
But you think of those names, though. Those are guys that are well loved within this community because, like you said, I mean, they were here a long time. They were here pretty much their entire career.
Bro,
Gabe York, like a 4-year guy.
I've been in McHale, for a better part of 40 years, and the loudest cheers are always for juniors and seniors who have been on campus for a minute, right? I mean, you heard the cheers last night for Umar Ballo when he airballed that free throw, and the crowd picked him up. I mean, that's a guy who didn't start his college career here on campus in Tucson, but certainly has earned the love and respect of the Tucson community, and you can hear that in the cheers. Even when the very first red-blue cheers, when the crowd cheered when those guys came out of the tunnel for the red-blue game, the loudest cheers were for those guys who returned and had been on campus and put in the blood, sweat, and tears and whatnot for this program for a period of time. So any of those guys you mentioned, Judd Buechler is one of my favorites of all time because he sat behind, obviously, Sean Elliott and then became, an all Pac-12 type player, all Pac-10, because he was a very, very good basketball player. Craig McMillan is the forgotten guy on that first Final Four team. He was, and people should know this, the first McDonald's All-American.
Yeah.
That Arizona ever got. So, again, there are a lot of, forgotten isn't the right word, but there are a lot of super famous alumni from the Arizona men's basketball program and so many other names, if you weren't around even during that period of time, that deserve so much respect just because of how much they gave to the program. And those guys like Craig McMillan, Judd Buechler, and so forth, they certainly might have been not got the headlines when you're playing with Steve Kerr, Sean Elliott, and those kind of guys. But certainly they deserved every single bit of getting part of that 1,000-point thing because, again, just great contributors overall to the program.
That might be a question of the day, I think, coming up. Who is your favorite single-digit average scorer in the 1,000-point club? I think we might have to do that.
Judd Buechler.
I think there's, you said Judd Buechler was your guy. I'm trying to think that I'm just looking at the guys of my era that are on this list. I'd have to say Dusan and Gabe were of the guys on this list. Those are probably my two favorites.
Kyle Fogg is great.
Oh, Kyle, I can't forget. Well, Kyle, we took him off the list because he averaged 10 points, but
9.6,
yeah, but Kyle would be number one because he's one like my originals. Like my originals are like my kids.
Sure, no, I
those
get
are
it.
my kids.
I get that.
Those guys like from that team: Nick Wise, Kyle Fogg, Brendan Lavender, those guys from those are like I feel like those are my kids.
Yeah, for me, like the first team I fell in love with was the 86, 87, 88 era. Like those guys, I will never forget.
Those are my nemesises.
No, I know. A lot
those are the guys. You bring up Judd Buechler, and I just have bad memories.
He was
about
so
him.
good.
I have really bad memories about him and Tom Tolbert. And Sean Rooks and all those guys putting a foot in our ass every year.
They were good.
All right, joining us, it is the weekend. Woo! Cricket is here. It is Friday. My wife's out of town, Cricket. So you gotta give me a list of some things to get. I gotta find some trouble to get into.
Okay. Who's gonna feed you? How are you gonna survive?
Oh, well, it's funny you say that because she apparently my wife works from home. She's a remote worker, so she literally like Wednesday she flew out. She had to go home for the weekend to Ohio. She literally spent all day yesterday and Wednesday like cooking everything that was in our refrigerator. So I have all this food to get me probably through the next week.
Oh, so you will survive.
I will
Barely.
survive.
Okay,
Yes.
good to know.
I will not go hungry, that's for sure.
That's good
I had
news.
spaghetti for lunch, as a matter of fact. So my belly is already full for the day.
Good.
I may not have to eat again today.
All right.
But I probably will.
Yeah, you will.
What's going on?
Well, this weekend, the Tucson Gem Mineral and Fossil Showcase, which happens all around Tucson through the 11th of this month. Visit tucson.org for details about the specific shows.
If you've been driving, you know.
Oh, yeah. Someone was
Are
complaining.
they clogging up the streets, the gem
Oh, yeah.
people?
There's like 300,000 people in town for the whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, wow.
there's so many people, and you could really feel the difference in commutes for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And someone was complaining, why is traffic so bad? It's so terrible here. And I'm like, well, it's the Gem Show. Like, only
Yeah.
600,000 people are coming.
Well,
are
Gem
gonna
Show,
visit.
snowbirds, like the whole season.
Yes.
The best season to live in Tucson and to even temporarily, even if it's for part of the year, is of course going to be the crowdest time of year.
So that's what I should do. I should go downtown tonight or tomorrow night and like just start up conversations with people and act like I know about diamonds.
Could you have like a little portable recorder? Like you could do like interviews on the streets.
It's better
could do
it's better if it's obscure, like Wolfenite or something like that.
Wolfenite.
Yeah, say like a more obscure gem.
Or like be
Okay.
like a fossil expert or
Oh,
something
yeah, exactly.
like that.
I'll like maybe I'll get me like a pipe or something.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect.
And a top hat.
And like is it a monocle? What is it? Yeah, like that too.
Gems, my friend.
Perfect.
Tell me about these rocks that you deal with.
That's perfect. I have some trouble for you tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
The 80s dance party at Surly Wench is back.
80s is back.
From 9 to 2 tomorrow.
All right.
And St. Philip's Plaza Market happens Saturdays and Sundays from 10 to 3, like Mimosa's Music Market at Campbell and River. And for the kids, the Sunday Play Palooza. Fun stuff for the kids and the family at Trail Dust Town, like free rides, crafts, vendors, face painting on Sunday from noon to 4:30.
Are
Play-
adults allowed
Play
to play
Palooza.
Palooza?
Yes, well, they're allowed to be there because you better bring your kids. You better supervise your kids. So
Trail
it's
Dust Town.
family
I
fun.
like Trail Dust Town. You can see a good show there in between playing some miniature golf or something of that nature.
Yeah.
Of course.
Cool deal. All right. Cricket will be back a little bit later with more about what's happening about town this weekend. But like she said, there's a lot of people here for the Gem Show. So let's make sure we get you home safely.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Maybe if you're new in town, you will see a lot of that extra Gem Show traffic in the area near downtown Tucson and I-10, maybe even near Keno Parkway and I-10, Keno-Ajo connection. Reported collisions, Craycroft south of 5th Street, Craycroft and 22nd Street, and also River Road and Stone Avenue. Rain into this evening, 42 the low, sunny, 59 tomorrow, and 55 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. It matters who does your taxes.
When you get your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt, prepare to shout, Jackson Hewitt, yeah, from the rooftops. In the event you don't get your biggest refund, you'll get your money back, plus $100.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Now, is that league where they got the keg at second base and you got to have a beer before you get to third? Is that how that works?
J-Dub, that would have been a better league for me.
Oh, okay.
Don't miss out on all the fun.
Happy New Year, guys. That was right in my ear.
Oh, good. I see you're doing the whole baby New Year costume with the diaper and the sash.
Time to make resolutions. I resolved not to look at you dressed like that. People should start the new year by fixing up their heating and air system.
That's true. Alaskan AC can fix the stuff other companies can't.
Again, right in my ear. Plus, the Grizzly.
Right. The Grizzly is our custom-built AC made to take a chomp out of Arizona summers.
Still winter, guys. And we can fix up heaters to save our customers gobs of money. Gobs.
We believe in fixing before replacing.
What's a gob?
An Alaska-fied system is one that will last longer
And is guaranteed to be repair-free for an entire year. Woohoo! I swear, one more time with that thing.
Good resolution, Gary. Let's get out there and help people fix up their systems and save some real money.
All right. Probably should have told him to put some clothes on first.
Yeah.
Schedule now at AlaskanAC.com.
Arizona Complete Health means more than health insurance to me. They're my healthcare partner. We get the care we need from doctors we choose, and even earn rewards for healthy things we're already doing. And with Marketplace, Medicaid, and Medicare options, I have coverage to protect my family's health wherever life takes us.
Arizona Complete Health, a plan for life. Visit planforlifeaz.com to find coverage that works for you.
The American Red Cross is facing an emergency blood shortage as the nation's blood supply has dropped to critically low levels. Blood and platelet donations are needed now for people counting on life-saving care after accidents, surgeries, and those facing critical treatments for cancer and sickle cell disease. You can take action today. Make an appointment to give blood. To book a time, use the Red Cross Blood Donor app. Visit redcrossblood.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to schedule your appointment.
Attention basketball fans. Wildcats Radio 1290 and Coors Light want to send you to the men's basketball tournament in Las Vegas. We're hooking you up with 2 all-session passes for the tournament, plus $1,000 to cover travel plans, a few nights in a Vegas hotel, and maybe a little extra to spend however you want. If you want to win, check out wildcatsradio1290.com and sign up. Get all the details and official contest rules at wildcatsradio1290.com. Good luck from Coors Light and Wildcats Radio 1290.
Well, it's the first part of a new year, and some people are coming up with some pretty interesting New Year's resolutions.
I'm taking karate classes.
Hey, wait just a minute.
Let's get something really stupid tattooed on our butt.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Why not make your New Year's resolution to always save up to 40% on your favorite tobacco products at Tobacco Barn? You'll not only save up to 40%, but there's also no city or state sales tax at Tobacco Barn because they're on the reservation.
I'm getting married to the first girl I meet. Hey there, sweetheart.
And you can save up to another $3 with a coupon at tobaccobarntucson.com.
Let's try parachuting. Geronimo!
So save up to 40%, save with no city or state sales tax, and save up to another $3 with a coupon at tobaccobarntucson.com. But maybe skip the skydiving. Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia. Check tobaccobarntucson.com.
Wildcats Radio 1290 is everywhere. Wildcats fans can listen to us everywhere on our all-new app.
Now available from the Google Play Store and the App Store for iPhone users.
The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We are streaming this show live on a number of platforms today, video-wise. We are on Twitch, Facebook Live, YouTube, at WildcatsRadio1290.com or 12 Wildcats, well, not .com. That's only an internet thing or a URL thing, but at Wildcats Radio 1290 are our pages, our landing pages for those 3 platforms. Twitter is just at Wildcats 1290. You can go over there and you can watch the program, or you can take part in our question of the day, which we'll get into shortly here.
What's the most money you ever spent on a pair of sneakers?
Oh, gosh. Well, I think I was like most youngsters back in my youngster days. I probably spent over $100. I never spent more than $150.
Right.
But I probably spent somewhere like, back in the Air Jordan days or Nike, whatever days when I probably spent about $120.
I only asked because today, 6 shoes sold for $8,032,800.
What?
Yeah, it's a complete championship set of MJ shoes, game worn, and signed. And the funny thing about it is their PR executive at the time, his name was Tim Hallam, or is. He requested after the first championship that he would ask MJ for 1 shoe.
Mm-hmm.
And balance, and all those things. And Kylan Boswell has about as picture perfect a form as you can get. So, again, what I always say in my keys is keep shooting. Keep taking those shots and shoot with confidence, because when you put in so much time and effort and energy into perfecting your form, shooting form is 9/10 of it. And repeatability obviously get those shots to fall in game action. But yeah, I think definitely that Kylan Boswell of this group of players has the best shooting form.
All right. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that, but I
Like, there's different styles of being a great shooter. Some of it is just a pure touch thing, and others repeatable mechanics. I just think Kylan Boswell's mechanics, and especially how quickly he gets that shot away, he's got a really tight and reproducible, and clearly something that they've worked on a lot. His form is just really good.
All right, so I'm just going to give you the numbers right now, just because why not? Since we're talking about this shooting, we'll just give you what the numbers say at this point. Caleb Love shooting 45% on the season. Kylan Boswell down to 39%. He got off to such that great start where he was essentially a 60, 60, 100 guy through the first part of the season, but now down to 39%. And then Paulius is at 40% on the season. So in terms of and what was that? And then Pella's
always going to be high. Yeah,
Pella's at 52%.
Yeah, Pella's high because his shot selection is he's so smart in when he does take those shots, and he has a great
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Crashes reported Cortero at I-10, Orange Grove, and Thornydale. Also clearing 22nd and Craycroft to the south of 5th Street. Some busy traffic on the eastbound side of I-10 as you approach Ina. Also some slowing eastbound I-10 approaching the Ajo-Kino connection ramp. And for your weather, overnight tonight, rain into this evening, 42, the low sunny, 59 tomorrow, and 55 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. It matters who does your taxes.
When you get your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt, prepare to shout, Jackson Hewitt, yeah, from the rooftops. In the event you don't get your biggest refund, you'll get your money back, plus $100.
Happy New Year, guys. That was right in my ear.
Oh, good. I see you're doing the whole baby New Year costume with the diaper and the sash.
Time to make resolutions. I resolved not to look at you dressed like that. People should start the new year by fixing up their heating and air system.
That's true. Alaskan AC can fix the stuff other companies can't.
Again, right in my ear. Plus, the Grizzly.
Right. The Grizzly is our custom-built AC made to take a chomp out of Arizona summers.
Still winter, guys. And we can fix up heaters to save our customers gobs of money. Gobs.
We believe in fixing before replacing.
What's a gob?
An Alaska-fied system is one that will last longer
and is guaranteed to be repair-free for an entire year. Woohoo! I swear, one more time with that thing.
Good resolution, Gary. Let's get out there and help people fix up their systems and save some real money.
All right. Probably should have told him to put some clothes on first.
Yeah.
Schedule now at AlaskanAC.com.
Wildcat fans, join head coach Adia Barnes and the Arizona women's basketball team in McHale Center this season. Single game tickets start as low as $17 and are available for purchase now. You won't want to miss the fierce competition coming to Arizona. Tickets are available at ArizonaWildcats.com/WBK. Arizona women's basketball. Let's pack McHale Center.
BetMGM is offering new customers a chance to score $158 in bonus bets instantly. Just download the BetMGM app and sign up using the bonus code VEGAS58, VEGAS58. Then, place a $5 moneyline wager on the big game. You'll receive $158 in bonus bets instantly, regardless of your wager's outcome. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older only. Arizona only. New customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Make sure you download or update the Wildcats Radio 1290 app.
We've got the entire state covered like no other sports radio station in southern Arizona. Plus, when you have the app, you can cover U of A sports with Wildcats Radio 1290 anywhere and everywhere you go and out of town, too.
The mountains, the beach, working out, or maybe even...
Oh, no. Turn that off.
Download or update the Wildcats Radio 1290 app today and never miss a moment of sports analysis.
Well, maybe an occasional moment.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
Progressive protects more than just your home and car. You could save when you bundle your motorcycles, ATVs, boats, and RVs. Doesn't that sound good? Like the sound of the wind in the trees as your RV sits parked in the forest. Is that the call of the majestic owl? And there's the sound of a tree branch crashing into the roof of your RV. Oof, I guess their nest was in that branch. But you know what does sound good? You're covered with Progressive. So bundle all your vehicles and home in one place and save with the multi-policy discount. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, we've been talking about shooters for the Arizona Wildcats. Who is the best shooter on the Wildcat basketball team? Well, let's talk to the best shooter on the Pima Aztecs basketball team. Freshman guard Cohen Gonzalez joins us on the program. Cohen has started all 21 games for the Aztecs this season. He is shooting 51% from the floor and 49% from three-point land this season for the Aztecs, who are having a pretty good season so far. 18-3, 10-3 in conference play. Cohen, appreciate you taking some time to join us. How has your freshman season of college basketball gone in your eyes?
Hey, what's up? It's going pretty good so far, I would say.
So let's talk about, you're from Gilbert Mystique, and how did you find Pima College? Why was this the right jumping off point for you coming out of high school to start playing some college basketball?
Yeah, so my senior year, I was just waiting for, to see if I would get any offers from any D2, D1 schools. And I just finally decided to take a visit down here at Pima, and I ended up liking it, and then, I chose to come here.
When you were talking to Coach Brian Peabody, what was it about maybe the way he sold the program that made you, and were you looking at other JCs as well, maybe up in the Valley, and was it a situation where you kind of maybe wanted to get a little bit away from home but not too far?
Yeah, I mean, with Peabody, the whole thing was he just wanted to win, and the whole culture here seemed like a good place that would fit for me and where I'd want to come to college.
Now, did you think as a freshman that you'd be able to come in and start, let alone play at a high level, but start right away?
I did think that. Well, I always wanted to. Coming in, I wanted to be a starter. I wanted to, be the guy. And, I mean, over time, just working hard and trying to get better every day, it got down to that.
How would you describe your game? I mean, you're 5'9", you're not a very tall kid, but you play with a lot of style and a lot of moxie. Kind of, how did you develop that? Where did you pick that style up?
I mean, I feel like I have a lot of confidence with my game, and especially like when it comes to shooting, I feel like as soon as I, as soon as I shoot it and release it, I already know like it's going in. I just feel like that confidence helps a lot.
Who are some of the I guess, what are some of the things you've done to try to make yourself a good shooter? I mean, anytime that we see somebody that's shooting 49% from behind the arc, that opens people's eyes. How early did you begin to develop that skill, and how have you tried to refine your distance shooting?
I feel like I've always been more of like a shooting guard and been like a shooter, but not till probably high school I started to work on my game more and try to get up as many shots as I could a day, and just over time, just the consistency of that.
So what's your regimen?
So I would try to get up at least 500 shots a day.
Wow.
And like maybe take one break, like on a Sunday. Yeah.
Take one break on a Sunday. Cohen Gonzalez is joining us. He is the guard for the Pima Aztecs. Aztecs are 21-3. They'll be playing Scottsdale at the West Gymnasium on Saturday with a 4:00 tip-off. What do you like about this team? I mean, obviously there's some veterans that you guys have got, like Jalen Alexander and our guy out of South Point Catholic, Dylan Baker. What do you like about some of these sophomores you've kind of been teaming with this year?
I feel like for a team that's only been together for this year, we have a lot of chemistry, which helps with. I feel like that helps with our team and how the way we play. Our chemistry is really good, and that I feel like that kind of makes us better.
These games, I guess, going back up to Phoenix, they have to be a lot of fun for you to go up and play, all those teams up there, like your Scottsdales and your Chandlers and your Phoenix colleges. Do you get a lot of your friends that have had a chance to come out to those games when you guys go back up north?
Yeah, I've definitely had friends come to games. I have a lot of family that come to my games all the time. But yeah, there's always support when I go up there.
Who do you like to watch? Who are your players, whether it's college or the NBA or overseas, that you really like to watch play?
I like to watch Curry a lot. And, he's a shooter, so I feel like I kind of base my game off him a little bit.
All right, so like what's the most Steph Curry thing you do?
Probably just my shooting and like my efficiency. My efficiency is really good.
Do you have I would not imagine you have a pregame routine where you like shoot from every single area from the floor, including taking like 10 shots from the center logo or anything like that?
Not from the center logo, but yeah.
Cohen Gonzalez is our guest. So Cohen, interesting. Your first name is spelled Cohenj. What's the story behind that?
Yeah, so I actually go by Cohen J. So it's like put together.
Okay.
And my parents, that's just the way they liked it, and they liked my J being like in my middle name, and then just calling me Cohen J.
So Cohen J is actually the way it's pronounced Cohen J. So the J is not silent.
Yeah, so Cohen J.
Okay.
Yeah, so anytime someone meets me, they think it's just Cohen, but yeah, the J goes with it.
Outstanding, Cohen. So what is that a family? Is there any family relation in terms of that in the family, that name?
Nope.
No.
Mm-mm. Nope.
That's interesting.
Just one of one. Yep.
Cohen J. Gonzalez, our guest, freshman guard for the Pima College Aztecs. So 21-3. At this point, you guys are kind of coming around to the tail end of the season as you try to ramp up for the national tournament. What needs to improve going down the stretch for the Aztecs?
I think that we need to start games off more aggressive and not as slow, because sometimes we kind of start games off slow, and we get into it and we don't score as quickly, and it kind of takes time for us. And I feel like we need to just be more aggressive going into the game and trying to, take the lead right away as soon as we can.
You guys have seemed to gotten, at least the last couple of games, gotten back to the century mark. Were you shocked early on? I mean, you guys were putting up some crazy numbers at the beginning of the season. I mean, were you shocked that the games were like that early on?
Yeah, so I was really surprised how we scored up that many points so quickly, and it's just because the way we play is just so fast. We're just able to put up so many shots to score so quickly and put up 140 on a team.
All right, now you had a little bit of a moment early in the season, a viral dunk that everybody went crazy over. Walk me through that play and how that went down.
Yeah, it did go very viral. Oh, that play, I got a steal, and I was seeing I had a fast break, and I was wanting to get a dunk in game because I haven't gotten one in college yet, so I was thinking I'm going to dunk it no matter what. And then one of the dudes on the other team, he was just following right behind me and decided to jump, and I already knew I was going to try to dunk it, so he just jumped with me, and I dunked on him.
What was going through your mind when you just kind of saw everybody, when they put that video up and you saw everybody kind of reacting to it?
Yeah, my mind was going crazy. I didn't know what to do.
Because nobody was, I mean, like I said, I had seen, I think I'd seen you play a game or two before that, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, that's the guard? The guard, he was the one that did that dunk? I mean, I don't think too many people were really expecting you to be able to get up and fly like that.
Yeah.
How old were you the first time you dunked in a game?
The first time I dunked in game was going into my senior year of high school.
I can only imagine if it was a home game, the crowd that night seeing you dunk. What was that experience like the first time you did it?
The first time I did it in front of the high school crowd was really crazy. Everyone was out of their seats, jumping, screaming.
Are you playing? Do you play in an out of season organization, AAU, or any teams like that?
Back in high
back
school?
up north, or back before you got to college. Were you playing any AAU or travel ball?
Yeah, so I played with Team Arizona every single summer since fourth grade. So those guys on that team I'm pretty close with, and we played all since we were probably 6 or 7.
Any big time players you've had a chance to play against?
Against?
Or with?
So I guess you could say Styles Phipps. He's in high school right now. He's going to GCU.
I'm sorry, what was his name again?
Styles Phipps. He's going to Grand Canyon University.
Okay.
And then my teammate Nate Calmise, who I won state with my junior year, he was a senior. He's at Washington right now.
Okay, so what was that like? I remember that team a few years ago. What was it like to be a part of that state championship club?
It was special. That was a really great team. We had a lot of seniors that year, so we were senior heavy, and I mean that's what kind of led us, the senior leadership.
What did you
that
learn?
Year.
Did you get a chance to play a lot that year, and what did you learn from those guys?
Yeah, so that year I averaged 18.
Oh wow!
Behind Nate, who averaged 30 that year. And I mean, I kind of learned that not every time I'm on a team that I'm gonna be, the star player, and whoever's better, you got to give it to them. But I still got mine, which is good. So I kind of learned to share the ball better and be a better passer, and just be a better teammate.
So now that you're on the JC level, how are you navigating what potentially could come next after JC for you? Are you starting to try to talk to teams? Are you waiting to get through your freshman year and then maybe start that process in the summertime? How are you navigating that part of it?
I know that Peabody, our head coach, he's doing all that recruiting for me.
Well, that's awesome.
So I know that he's emailing a bunch of coaches and making highlights for me and sending that out. So I know he's doing all that. But I know that I want to go and play at a D1. But if not, I'm fine with playing at a D2.
What do you like most about Brian Peabody?
He tells us the truth. He's very truthful with us. So if we mess up, he tells us exactly, what we did and what we need to do better. He never, will just tell us good job. If we mess up, just get it back. He'll tell us what we did wrong. He's very truthful. And when he tells us what we did wrong, we know that's what we need to get better and that's what we need to fix.
All right. That's awesome. Cohen J. Gonzalez of the Pima Aztecs. Again, the fellows are home on Saturday at 4:00 p.m. against Scottsdale over at the West Campus Gymnasium. Cohen J, continued success this season as you guys push for this ACC AC title overall, which is never an easy thing to do when you have all these Division I teams you have to go up against. But you guys are in line to potentially win the whole thing and for sure clinch that number 1 seed in Division II as well. And I'm sure you've heard all about, what it's like to compete to get to the national tournament, and that is on the horizon. So best of luck with that.
Yep, thank you.
Coenje Gonzalez of the Pima Aztecs, our guest today.
Coach Peabody never told me, honestly, what I needed to work on because I was the 12th guy on the bench.
Okay.
And so he would tell the assistant coaches, and then they would tell me,
you. Okay.
Stop dribbling. Your defense sucks. Get in shape. All that stuff.
Coenje averaging 15 points this season as a freshman. Again, shoots 51% from the field, 49% from three, while dishing out 3 assists per ball game. Exciting young player if you have a chance to get up there and watch the Pima Aztecs on Saturday. He wears number 4, I do believe is the number. Yes, number 4. All right, getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather is cricket. We'll dive into Arizona women's basketball in the next hour. It's DK on the Sports Tip along with JW Madden. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions reported Valencia and Nogales Highway, some slowing at the intersection. Sunrise Drive east of Swan. Cortero at I-10 and also Orange Grove and Thornydale. Busy traffic, Ajo and Mission. Northbound 6th Avenue at I-10 and also eastbound I-10 approaching the Ajo-Keno connection. Rain into this evening, 42 the low, sunny, 59 tomorrow, and 55 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. It matters who does your taxes.
When you get your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt, prepare to shout, Jackson Hewitt, yeah, from the rooftops. In the event you don't get your biggest refund, you'll get your money back, plus $100.
Get the backyard you've always wanted with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you're ready to dive in, then visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Schedule now and get 3 months of full service free. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. First Choice Pools, the first and only choice.
We get you so close to the action at McHale, it feels like Wilbur and Wilma are in the car with you.
This is the home of Arizona men's basketball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
You hear it all the time. Lawyers talk about all their experience, many years of experience with insurance companies, and experience in the courtroom. But what they're not talking about is their results. Maybe they don't have any. At Lerner & Rowe, we're proud of our results because that's how we measure our success. We've helped over 150,000 people recover billions of dollars for their injuries, with over $1 billion just in the last 5 years alone. When you want results, call Lerner & Rowe.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Wildcat fans, join head coach Adia Barnes and the Arizona women's basketball team in McHale Center this season. Season tickets are on sale now. You won't want to miss the fierce competition coming to Arizona. Season tickets are available now at ArizonaWildcats.com/WBK. Arizona women's basketball. Let's pack McHale Center.
This just in, Goodfellas AC is matching up to $2,000 on federal tax credit.
Whoa, seriously? This is unbelievable. I gotta call Floyd at Goodfellas.
Hello, Goodfellas. Floyd speaking.
Is it true about the $2,000?
It sure is. Homeowners like you may qualify for a 30% federal tax credit up to $2,000 on qualifying heat pumps. And Goodfellas will match the tax credit dollar for dollar up to $2,000. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas.
Okay, kids, we're home. Everybody out.
Ew, my feet are stuck.
In what, honey?
On the floor.
Ew. Take off your shoes. Tommy, come carry your sister into the house.
What do you do when the car you use the most has the least amount of time to get clean? Let Recon Auto Detailing, Arizona's premier auto detailing company, come to you and turn your busiest car back into your best. From basic cleaning to a full detail, Recon Auto Detailing. Online at recondetail.com.
Attention Tucson. Remember, if it's game day and the Wildcats are taking the floor, you can count on 1290 to bring you all the play-by-play action, the biggest pre- and post-game show in the Pac-12. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Progressive protects more than just your home and car. You could save when you bundle your motorcycles, ATVs, boats, and RVs. Doesn't that sound good? Like the sound of the wind in the trees as your RV sits parked in the forest. Is that the call of the majestic owl? And there's the sound of a tree branch crashing into the roof of your RV. Oof, I guess their nest was in that branch. But you know what does sound good? You're covered with Progressive. So bundle all your vehicles and home in one place and save with the multi-policy discount. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters. And that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell and Cordell's Tucson area attorneys. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. CordellCordell.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Live from the CNWT.
From the what?
Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Hour number 2 on this Friday, February the 2nd, Groundhog Day. At least for those that live in cold water climates.
It's cold out there today. It was real nice about 5 hours ago.
If
And
Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow, does that mean we get rain for the next 6 weeks?
I mean,
it's raining right now, right?
Cold rain too.
Is it cold rain?
It's been cold. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it got chilly. It chilled out.
Not supposed to rain on Sunday. Better not rain Sunday because we are going to be live on the mall. Not the mall, but the patio at the Hall of Champions for our Meridian Wealth Management pregame show ahead of Arizona and Stanford and after Arizona and Arizona State women's basketball. So we'll have double coverage for you on Sunday of all of that action. So join us out there. Kelvin Efon and I will be out there doing the show. Stop on by on your way to the game as the Wildcats try to get the Bay Area sweep and solidify their hold on first place. If you were not with us at the end of last night's show, the Oregon Ducks defeated the USC Trojans last night. So the Ducks and the Wildcats are tied still for first place in the Pac-12 conference. Yeah, these dudes with the top hats.
Right?
Out in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
This is,
what century is
this? This is quite the show. Quite the show. So apparently he did not see his shadow. So it's going to be an early spring. Now, I guess for us, does that mean that it's going to be like 85 in 4 weeks?
Wasn't it 85 like a month ago?
Yeah, it was 80 earlier this week. I think it did hit 80.
Yeah.
Either that day we were out at the golf course so that was Tuesday we were at the golf course. It was either Tuesday or Wednesday. It did hit 80 according to some of the weather forecasters here in town.
About Sunday, 66 is the predicted high.
Okay, I can deal with that.
I'm glad you guys are going to be there during the women's game because last time you were out there, because we do our show 4 hours before tip, there wasn't a lot of foot traffic because we didn't really open that up. So I'm glad you guys will be out there, and hopefully we'll have some more people around to chit-chat with.
Get a few people that are coming out of the game on Sunday. Arizona State. That'll be a noon tip-off for the ladies. Our coverage will begin at 11:30. We'll have some special pregame coverage, or extended pregame coverage, I should say. Not necessarily special, but extended pregame coverage for you beginning at 11:30.
All of our pregame coverage is special.
Yeah, okay. It is. It is. We try to do the best we can. So anyway, the big news out of the U of A women's basketball program this week has been that they are going to be having tryouts. If you were not with us last week, Kaylin Gilbert did not play in either of the 2 games against the Stanford Cardinal and the California Golden Bears last week. She did not play in either of those games. So the Wildcats are now down to 7 people on there because they've had a number of injuries. Matoya Dew is out for the year. She was injured during training camp, during practice. And then Maya Nagy left the team. And now they've had 2 more injuries. Saleh Karoma injured her shoulder, had to have surgery. They did have a walk-on from the track team. She got hurt like the first week she was there. She's out for the year. So now they're down to like 7 people with Kaylin Gilbert being out.
And that's the limit, right?
That is the limit, correct. And you don't want to be in a situation where you have to, think about the possibility of having to cancel games, which is what happened at Texas Christian this past month, where they had to forfeit 2 games, and you definitely do not want to do that. I'll play these from over here, Jay. So let's hear first from Adia Barnes on the update on Kaylin Gilbert. Now, Kaylin did tell the TV folks, apparently, that it is some type of back situation that she is dealing with, although Adia Barnes, has not come out and said anything specific to what it is.
Well, right now she's not 100% available. It depends on this week because the protocol is you have to go through a certain amount of contact and full practices. So she's easing back into practice. So she could be available. I just don't know. It's kind of a day-to-day thing, and we've had 2 days off this week because it was a bye week. So as of now, I'm starting the same start as the last game. And as of now, we'd be going into 7. Now she's available to be 8, but 7 or 8, it's still pretty thin.
7 is the minimum for the Pac-12 that you can. If you go below that number, then you're in big trouble. Just to kind of give you an assessment, TCU, what they did is they ended up signing a girl or bringing a girl over from the volleyball team. And Adia Barnes talked earlier this week on her radio show and said that she had talked to some of the girls on the volleyball team, and she reiterated that what they're kind of looking for with this open tryout.
Well, it changed my decision because it went into the last game with 7. So, and then the possibility of playing with 7 the rest of the year. And the only thing I thought about was I don't want to get to a situation where we don't meet the qualifications from the Pac-12. So I don't want to cancel games, and I don't mind going in with 7, but if I could ensure that we'd always have 7, I'd be more comfortable, because it's stuff like random stuff like happened a month ago, like 2 players colliding or a practice player elbowing someone, they get a concussion, they're out for like 2 weeks. Just random stuff like that.
So it's a different dynamic in women's basketball. You heard her mention practice players. Now, the practice players are men. They have male practice players that they'll bring in, and they go through. And this happens in I think I've seen it in pretty much, well, I've seen it in 2 sports at U of A. I've seen it in basketball. I've seen they have male practice players in volleyball. I've not seen that in any of the soccer practices that I've ever been to for women's soccer, and I've not seen, quote, male practice players in any of the softball practices that I've ever been to. But it is very prominent in basketball and volleyball. So let's find out exactly what Adia Barnes is looking for. And first of all, we'll find out what she's looking for in terms of these tryouts that they're going to have.
Like in terms of like adding in what ways? A good person, like Erin added. She was only here for like a week and got hurt, but she's a great kid. She's high academics. She's high motor. She's a good athlete. So I'm gonna invest in her, and she really likes basketball. And I don't care if she still does track because it doesn't really interfere a lot. And I think she adds to what we have. So you just want to good people that are gonna You don't want to bump on the log, even if they're decent, because it's just super quiet. You want someone to add something positive, or else it's better not to have it.
Are we seeing a culture shift in women's college basketball where this is going to be more the norm? I mean, historically, walk-ons haven't been a huge thing because of opportunities and the desire for that, but the game is evolving and changing so much that this feels like it might be necessary for teams to look at around the country. Maybe.
Yeah, you know what you're noticing this year versus like 5 years ago? That really small rosters. I think because of all the turnover, and like think about us, you don't want to go sign 10 kids in the portal. Like that's just a lot, and it's like having eight new people this year is really hard. So if you had like 8 to 10, I think it's really hard to sustain that. Now the men are used to doing that because of the pros. Like women's basketball is not used to that. So I see a shift in rosters because someone like Stanford, they would have like 20, they would have like 19, 20 people. So you're seeing those shorter benches. You're seeing a lot of teams throughout the country with multiple injuries. So I don't know if that's just playing more, but I've seen more injuries even in the Pac-12 than we have in probably, I don't know, you've been around the league a long time. I mean, probably the last 10 years. In my 8 years, we've never seen so many injuries, like major injuries with like teams having like 4 people out. That's a lot. So I think that if you think of it from a coach's standpoint, we never want to have 15. Well, I didn't want to before because I was like, oh, 15 is too much because you have like 10 miserable people, 5 happy because they're starting, and the other like 3 mad because they're not starting or not playing enough, and then the other ones that don't play, you can't play 15 people. It's like a nightmare. And then everybody says, oh, you add people that know their role, but everybody wants to play. That's the reality. So I think for me, the magic number would be like 12, but this year I started with 12. So yeah, I think that you probably want to have like 12 to 14, with maybe 2 being the last 2 walk-ons. And then they kind of are here, maybe know they won't have a chance to play, but bring stuff to practice every day.
Yeah, and see, that's the part of and we've had this conversation before. That's the part that I don't get. I don't get the whole, like, 6 to 7 women at the end of the bench expecting to play. Like I don't understand that. I like if if you've been on a team before, you know what the hierarchy of the team concept is. And I guess I can't understand the difference between the men's mindset in this and the women's mindset in this. And if you want to explain it to me, please do. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290, because men who walk onto teams understand why they are there. They understand their role in that process. They are there to be practice players. They're really there, I think, because they're good enough to be a part of it. Why don't women see it like that? Why aren't there enough women who just want to be a part of it? And expect to be a walk-on and go in and play? I just don't understand that.
Look, I mean, this is a deep philosophical conversation.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Expect some slowdowns in the area of I-10 and downtown Tucson due to the Gem Show. We've got reported collisions, Sunrise Drive east of Swan, also Valencia and Nogales Highway. Some busy traffic at Ajo and Mission, and also some slowdowns spotted on northbound 6th Avenue at I-10. And for your weather, 42 the low, rain into this evening, sunny 59 tomorrow and 55 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. At Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, they'll help you with any air conditioning, drain, or pipe issues. Trust the big guy. Contact Tucson's most respected AC and plumbing experts anytime at coolwillies.com, where they are big enough to help and small enough to care. That's coolwillies.com.
Did you miss the big game? We got you covered.
Knocked away by Love and a steal. Off to KJ Lewis. Slams it home. And Arizona up by 6. Oh, what a big play.
DK on the Sports Tip. 3 to 6 weekdays.
When my daughter gets a cold, I have a secret weapon. Dayquil Kids Berry from Vicks. Dayquil Kids is specially formulated to treat kids' most bothersome cold and cough symptoms quickly. And the best part is that Dayquil Kids Berry tastes really great. Aren't you supposed to be resting? Maybe.
Dayquil Kids Berry. The Kids Berrylicious daytime congestion, coughing, stuffy head, stuffy nose, just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6 years plus.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, with an auto warranty about to expire, or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-736-6158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-736-6158. That's 800-736-6158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-736-6158. Again, 800-736-6158.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Wildcats fans from coast to coast can bring a little bit of Tucson to themselves wherever they happen to be by streaming 1290 on our website at wildcatsradio1290.com. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text the show at that number. Our question of the game, we're talking a lot of Arizona basketball, both men and women, today on this Friday. And the question of the day delves with the men's team, and J-Dub gave us this one last night. Who is the best pure shooter on the Arizona men's basketball team this year, the best pure shooter. And I give you 4 names. You can head on over to Twitter right now and get in on this poll. Kylan Boswell, Caleb Love, Pella Larson, or Paulius Morauskas. You'll be happy to hear, J-Dub, that your guy, Kylan Boswell, is off the zero platform. Thanks in part to your guy, Doug in Tucson, who said that he is also voting for Kylan Boswell. And Doug says, I voted for Kylan mainly because I don't want to have to fight J-Dub.
Bring it.
But also because I love Kylan. He said, but also because I love Kylan's form. Morauskas might be next, but we haven't seen a large enough sample size. Caleb and Pella are obviously strong shooters, too. Platinum Jacob Groves checks in, and he says Caleb Love is the best. And he posted a picture of himself at the game with Caleb Love.
2 things. What I really said is best form last night. So the best form, I believe, is Kylan Boswell. And it's not necessarily that Kylan's my guy. It's just I've been studying. Shooting form to me has been a fascination since I was 15. So, I mean, you can do the math. I'm an old man now. So it's been a long time. And I've watched all the great shooters come through the U of A program over the years and all the players, obviously that I admire in the NBA. I think it's really impossible. It's hard because I think the average fan says, Oumar Ballo, try harder. And that's the solution to shooting better at the free throw line. Try harder.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, but that's actually the opposite of what you really want to do. It's like putting in golf, right? I mean, you need to clear your head, get out of your own head, and trust your mechanics. Trust the work that you've put in, all those hours to be able to shoot free throws. And so shooting is a very technical thing at the end of the day. It's a lot of practice, a lot of muscle memory. And, personally, I like really tight, quick releases, especially in modern basketball, because the length and the advanced nature of defenses in general, but defenders on that level, it's really tough to get shots off. And so I like Morauskas and Boswell for that same reason. I like both their shots are very tight and compact and very repeatable. Same form every time.
All right, head on over right now to our Twitter page at Wildcats Radio 1290. You can vote in that poll, and we'll have the results for you. I always forget on Friday to set the polls up to go through the weekend, but you'll have about 24 hours to do that. Wildcats Radio 1290 and Coors Light want to send you to the men's basketball tournament at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, the Pac-12 men's basketball tournament. How about this grand prize? 2 all-session passes for the tournament, $1,000 in cash cards. You can use that $1,000 in cash cards to cover travel, your hotel, whatever you want in Vegas. If you want to win, head on over to our website right now, wildcatsradio1290.com, to sign up. You can get all the details there, your official contest rules. Again, it's the Pac-12 men's basketball tournament in Las Vegas at T-Mobile Arena, March 13th through the 16th. And if you win, you are going to get 2 all-session passes to the tournament plus $1,000 in cash cards to stay at the Wynn, the Cosmopolitan, Aria, wherever, Paris, if you want to stay wherever. If you want to stay at Excalibur, you can do that too. I thought I heard somebody say that that's where they're putting up the media for the Super Bowl next
Excalibur?
week. I guess it was the Luxor. And then when they ran out of rooms at the Luxor, they were putting the media at the Excalibur. We get better, so we at least for the media for the Pac-12, we get the New York.
Yeah,
which I like. I like New York.
Yeah,
I mean my favorite is MGM, and I really did fall in love with Cosmopolitan when I stayed there because it's the only one with balconies. And but yeah, New York in terms of I guess I call them the middle class hotels.
Yeah.
New York's a pretty good one.
I like the ones that have carpet that isn't a maze that draws you back into the center of the casino, because that's mad.
but then we're not as good. So I told you guys at the end of the season I was going to make that decision to be younger and not as good. I've been saying that because I passed up on a lot of portal kids because I didn't want to do this every year. That's just not what I really want. I don't want. Now, some other programs, their philosophy is like get a freshman, and get 4 transfers. I didn't really want that, but I don't know if that's just the new future. And that's just might be the reality. So the risks are you're not knowing the player. The other risks are for fifth years that they're really focused and they're really like their focus is narrowed and they want to go pro. So then it's like that's what they really want. So stats and all that stuff are important. So it just depends on which way. Now, ideally for me, it would be keep the core. Like ideally for me, Jada, who I love to coach, Skylar, Bray, I love coaching Montea, is that core, and then you add in some experience pieces to like replace Inez Mary, to replace the Helena, but you don't get players to replace your young kids. And that's hard because you're also paid to win. So as a coach, you have to make the decisions like, you can't go through 5 years of this record and stuff. I know that. Like, it's a business. I get it. So that's the challenge, and that's hard.
So Adia Barnes there talking about the culture of her program over the last few years and admitting, I think maybe for the first time, that some of the departures we've seen, she initiated because she wanted people out of her program. I don't think she's going to tell us who those are. I think we can deduce who some of those people were based on who left. The interesting thing I saw and we'll get more into this in the next segment, but of the freshmen and sophomores that were on the team when Helena Puello came into the program, she's the only one left. I think there were 6 girls, freshmen and sophomores, from when Helena Puello arrived here. She's the only one of those 6 that's left in the 5th year. So a lot of turnover with Arizona women's basketball. We'll delve more into this, and when we come back, getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather. Here's Cricket.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. The eastbound side of I-10 some freeway slowing approaching the Ajo-Kino connection, and also expect busy traffic in the area of downtown Tucson and I-10 due to the Gem Show. Earlier collision at Valencia and Nogales Highway is clearing. Rain into tonight, 42 the low, sunny and 59 tomorrow and 55 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com. Let Express Employment Professionals help you hire for contract or full-time jobs. Forget about posting jobs, sifting through resumes, and interviews with unqualified applicants. Go to ExpressPros.com to find the location near you. That's ExpressPros.com.
At Blue Moon, we craft our beer with Valencia orange peel and coriander for a brighter flavor that's one of a kind every time. So we decided to craft a one-of-a-kind radio ad using just those ingredients. Orange peel, coriander, 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 orange peel, orange peel, orange peel, orange peel, orange peel. Okay, you know what? Maybe we should just stick to crafting one-of-a-kind beers. Blue Moon, one of a kind, every time. Celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Co., Golden, Colorado.
Get the backyard you've always wanted with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you're ready to dive in, then visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Schedule now and get 3 months of full service free. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. First Choice Pools, the first and only choice.
Westwood One is the only place for exclusive audio coverage of every NFL postseason game. Hi, this is Scott Graham. Join us throughout the month of January and into February as we bring you Super Wildcard Weekend, the Divisional Round, Championship Sunday, and of course Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. All 13 NFL playoff games are on Westwood One. If it's the NFL playoffs, it's right here.
Caruso's, a Tucson tradition since 1938, located on historic 4th Avenue. For 4 generations, Caruso's handmade sauce has been prepared with love by a family member, using only the best ingredients. Enjoy specialty Italian dishes like lasagna al forno, chicken tetrazzini, real Italian sausages, spectacular pizza, as well as many vegetarian options. Caruso's offers outdoor dining on their garden patio with indoor dining also available. Open Tuesday through Sunday, with all your favorites available for takeout. For more information, call 520-624-5765 or visit their website at carusositalian.com.
Happy New Year, guys. That was right in my ear.
Oh, good. I see you're doing the whole baby New Year costume with the diaper and the sash.
Time to make resolutions. I resolved not to look at you dressed like that. People should start the new year by fixing up their heating and air system.
That's true. Alaskan AC can fix the stuff other companies can't.
Again, right in my ear. Plus, the Grizzly.
Right. The Grizzly is our custom-built AC made to take a chomp out of Arizona summers.
Still winter, guys. And we can fix up heaters to save our customers gobs of money. Gobs.
We believe in fixing before replacing.
What's a gob?
An Alaska-fied system is one that will last longer
and is guaranteed to be repair-free for an entire year. Woohoo! I swear, one more time with that thing.
Good resolution, Gary. Let's get out there and help people fix up their systems and save some real money.
All right. Probably should have told him to put some clothes on first.
Yeah.
Schedule now at alaskanac.com.
And just like that, it's 2024. The new year always comes so fast. The older I get, the simpler my resolutions are. Spending time with family, planning for retirement. But this year, I added protect it all to the list. When my best friend suddenly lost her husband and seeing what her family went through, I realized how important life insurance is. We weren't covered, so I went to selectquote.com, and in minutes, we had quotes from multiple carriers. Then, an experienced licensed insurance agent helped us find the right coverage for our budget. I'm 40, and my $500,000 policy was only $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. And with their same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. The holidays were for family, but the new year, it's for protecting them.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-280-8787 or go to selectquote.com to get your free quote. That's 1-800-280-8787. Details on example rate at selectquote.com.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. It is Friday. We'll have cricket coming up for you in the 5 o'clock hour with more about what is happening across southern Arizona this weekend. Fun things for you to get into. Wildcats basketball on Sunday. Both the men and the women are home at McHale Center. A rare doubleheader. Do we find out yet, J-Dub, when the last time we had a doubleheader was?
I didn't.
Do we know?
I never found it. I never found that information out now.
Yeah, that's it's been a while. I cannot remember the last time we had a men's and a women's game on the same day. Here in Tucson, but we will have that. The Sun Devils come to town for the ladies. And speaking of injuries, apparently the Sun Devils are one of those teams that's had a recent rash of injuries as well. I think they're down like 3 or 4 from the last time these two teams got together in mid-December. So again, the injury bug is hitting a lot of teams on the women's basketball front. We've been talking this entire hour about Arizona women's basketball. They're going to be having open tryouts to try to at least get a few healthy bodies on their roster. Let's hear a little bit more from Adia Barnes on who some of those immediate prospects might just be.
There are some players here that, there's 2 kids actually. One was Jada's teammate, that she played 4 years of high school and then isn't playing now. So we know that she knows her, she's good. So that's someone we'll think about. And then Skylar also has a teammate she played with in high school and just came here academically. So those are people that I would probably consider. I don't know if I would take all kinds of random people, but if they're okay and they can add, and like Erin would have been really good for us, and she got hurt. So just someone like that. I tried to recruit some volleyball players, but I wasn't too successful. I tried. Were you at my radio? No, you weren't at the radio show, but I tried. I was like, she's there, she's interested, but she doesn't know that yet, But she played 4 years, so I'm trying. I just want to get someone that can add to the culture and to our depth.
Well, the Erin she keeps talking about is Erin Tack. That was the young lady that came over from the track team. but unfortunately injured her knee and had to have surgery and is out for the season. But how coincidental is that you've got two young women on your team who both have high school teammates who came to U of A just as students?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it would, obviously Jada was in high school in San Diego, so that makes more sense. But the fact that one of Skylar Jones's teammates is from Chicago is also out here.
A lot of Chicagoans in Arizona.
Yeah, that's true. I would think I would think it's a lot like, the school I went to in Los Angeles, where the biggest array of kids outside of from the Midwest generally come from the Chicagoland area to schools out west. So
Or China.
Or China. There you go. Not necessarily surprising in that respect that there might be some familiarity on
cool.
campus.
I mean, especially because the big word I pulled out of that is culture, right? Culture.
Jab. He's jabbing. He's jabbing. He's trying to hurt you. You gotta fight him. You gotta move. He's up against the meeting. He's up against the rope. You can't get out of the corner. He's hooking. He's hooking. He's hooking. Damn, Ron, come on. What's the matter with you?
Tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
One of the great lines in Rocky III, there is no tomorrow. When Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed, was training Rocky for that rematch with Clubber Lang, and Rocky just was not into it. Then he had to get the talk from Adrian. This was after Mick had passed away. And got his head right, went back to work, and we all know how that story ended with him knocking out Clubber Lang while being trained by Apollo Creed. So rest in peace to the great Carl Weathers. DK on the sports tip. What is your memory of Carl Weathers? If you have one of those, we can entertain that in the 5 o'clock hour. It is Jade up here. It is Cricket here, and we'll have more for you after she takes you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. The eastbound side of I-10 freeway slowing approaching the Ajo-Kino connection, and also expect busy traffic in the area of downtown Tucson and I-10 due to the Gem Show. Earlier collision at Valencia and Nogales Highway is clearing. Rain into tonight, 42 the low, sunny and 59 tomorrow and 55 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. It matters who does your taxes.
When you get your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt, prepare to shout, Jackson Hewitt, yeah, from the rooftops. In the event you don't get your biggest refund, you'll get your money back, plus $100.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. It took me all the way until today to get into that pregame beef between Justin Tucker and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. You remember, they were in the end zone. Tucker was warming up. The Chiefs came in. They wanted Tucker to move his stuff. He moved it, but not far enough. And then after the game, Tucker said, I don't really know what the big deal is. It was just a little bit of gamesmanship. I was having a little bit of fun. I get that, except Kelce and Mahomes were not having fun, and they're still talking about it. You might say the whole thing is just so stupid, and I'm not going to say you're wrong. You might say the whole thing is petty, and I'm also going to agree with you. But petty always is awesome, especially when it involves GOATs and legends. Part of what makes them GOATs and legends is they thrive on petty. So why give them that? Memo to Niner kicker Jake Moody. Stay out of Pat's way in Vegas, my dude.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-881-4747. That's 1-800-881-4747. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-881-4747. That's 1-800-881-4747.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Wildcat fans, Taco Bell is a proud partner of Arizona Athletics and is ready to serve you. We're open for breakfast. Fire up your mornings with breakfast at Taco Bell. You've heard about Happy Hour? Well, try Happier Hour at your local Taco Bell for $1 beverages. From 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., choose any regular freezes or medium drink for $1. It's the happiest time of the day. Taco Bell is locally owned and operated and is looking forward to serving Wildcat fans. Stay safe, bear down, and live Mas.
We get you so close to McHale, it sounds like the Arizona Pep Band is riding in your back seat.
What the hell is going on?
This is the home of Arizona men's basketball. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Happy New Year, guys. That was right in my ear.
Oh, good. I see you're doing the whole baby New Year costume with the diaper and the sash.
Time to make resolutions. I resolved not to look at you dressed like that. People should start the new year by fixing up their heating and air system.
That's true. Alaskan AC can fix the stuff other companies can't.
Again, right in my ear. Plus, the Grizzly.
Right. The Grizzly is our custom-built AC made to take a chomp out of Arizona summers.
Still winter, guys. And we can fix up heaters to save our customers gobs of money. Gobs.
We believe in fixing before replacing.
What's a gob?
An Alaskified system is one that will last longer
and is guaranteed to be repair-free for an entire year. Woohoo! I swear, one more time with that thing.
Good resolution, Gary. Let's get out there and help people fix up their systems and save some real money.
All right. Probably should have told him to put some clothes on first.
Yeah.
Schedule now at AlaskanAC.com.
Remember to tune in to Wildcats Radio 1290 for the biggest pregame show in the Pac-12.
Because that's how we roll.
We go on the air 4 hours before every football and men's basketball game all season long. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip.
With your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Love around a screen from Ballo, around a screen into the lane. That little runner's up, no good. Tapped in by Ballo for 2.
There's the double-double from Umar Ballo.
Umar Ballo, 22 points and 13 rebounds last night as Arizona dispatched of California 91-65 at McHale Center. Umar Ballo joining the 1,000-point club at the University of Arizona. We're talking about the 1,000-point club and the different variances of that as it relates to the history of Arizona men's basketball. So Umar, let's take a look. I want to see what his career average, because we were talking about career average earlier, and guys that were single-digit scorers that were in the 1,000-point club. Umar Ballo, for his career at the University of Arizona, see what he's averaging. He is averaging just around 11 points per ball game. So he's in double figures. Number one being Coniel Norman, who averaged 24 points at the University of Arizona. And after the game last night, Umar Ballo talked about his career. He scored 22 points in that game last night. That's the most points that he's ever scored in a game at McHale Center, but he was not aware that that was the most points he'd ever scored in a game at McHale Center.
I didn't know that.
It seemed like most of your 20-point games had either been on the road or neutral sites. So was there just something in particular for you that you were feeling it tonight?
No, really. I would just, I had a great week, work out for Ricky, and I would just come in here and then play as hard as I could.
When you guys play like this very well, like a well-oiled machine, how does it feel?
I feel great, I feel like a team basketball. That's what our coaches be telling us. Like, we're a good team. We just got to come out every night and then show everyone how good we are, play as a team.
Umar, you guys had 40 points in the paint, forced 20 fouls. Was being aggressive a big part of the game plan tonight?
Yeah, for sure. We have good guards that can, drive in, trying to, get to the paint and also like feed me or Mo or Key, because I feel like the more paint touch we get, the better chance we have to draw foul or like get easy basket. So that was the main focus of this game plan.
As the game went on, it seemed every time that you got to the line, the crowd started to cheer rather than make it be like a quiet type thing. Is that distracting, or do you just like the support?
Honestly, just the support, because I know people out here, they want me to make those free throws more than I even do. So it feels great to have people that, support you no matter like how low or how high you are. They're always going to stand up and cheer for you.
But after you missed one, they cheer. I mean, even that, does that feel weird at all? Or
no, it didn't feel any weird. It was just good to see them, cheering for me to make free throws.
Umar, in general, just do you feel like you've been productive, particularly the last couple of weeks? You feel like you're back to the level you can be at, or where are you at?
Bruce, I don't know. Every game is different, and as I told you guys before, I don't have to score 20 points every night for our team to win. So if I got a chance to score 20 points, I will do it. But if I don't have it, my brother's gonna have my back, and they're gonna score. And the main focus is to win the game.
KJ, you had 13 against UCLA and then 14 here tonight, but then in between, not really much. How do you make sure that you're contributing to the game when it's not scored?
Just trying to find different ways to impact it, whether it's on the defensive end, making plays for my teammates, rebounding, just doing anything to bring a spark off the bench, and to get things going on. And I think that's my job, just to come in with effort and energy. Hopefully it goes to the whole team.
All right, Umar Ballo with a little bit of KJ Lewis there at the end. Umar Ballo, the 54th member of the 1,000 Point Club here at the University of Arizona. Joined by Cricket. Cricket is here. Cricket, is it still raining outside?
No.
No?
Looks like it could, though.
Okay. All right. Well, it is the weekend, and there's a lot going on here in southern Arizona, and Cricket is always here to kind of tell you what might be fun for you on we could say Friday night, Saturday, or Sunday this week.
This might be a really nice weekend. Tomorrow it's going to be like sunny and 60. Reed Park Zoo has a couple of new babies. Did you hear about them?
I did not hear. No.
Born on Christmas was their zebra foal that they named her Takiti.
Takiti.
Yes, and on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, a giraffe was born. And just at a few days old, 165 pounds. And he's so cute. They haven't named the giraffe yet, but I think this is the first weekend the public can see the giraffe. He's so cute.
I love giraffes. They're great.
Cuddle with him. He's so cute. And also, this sounds interesting. Beer and bikes tomorrow at 11 a.m. You meet at the Button Brew House. Then you ride your bicycle along the loop to 1912 Brewing Company. Grab a couple beers, then ride your bike back.
I used to know these guys.
Where's that at?
I don't know where 1912 Brew is. It's somewhere along the loop.
Okay.
I used to know these guys back in the day who are fire jumpers, and they're the guys who go up in the mountains and jump out of helicopters into the forest fires and whatever. And they had this thing they would do where they would ride. I don't remember what it was called, but it was a whole it was an event, like 10 hours or some nonsense, to see how many beers and how many laps you could do on bikes. Those guys are crazy.
What could possibly go wrong?
Exactly. That's what I always thought. I always thought balance and equilibrium is pretty important when you're riding a bike. So.
Yeah. So there's that. And again, I'll mention tomorrow night, the 80s dance party at Surly Wench, 9 to 2. And of course, the Tucson Gem Mineral and Fossil Showcase through February 11th, all across town. And you can get details at visittucson.org.
All right. So I have been to 1912. That's that brewing company that's kind of off of Grant there near the 10 freeway. Yeah. That back in that area there. They've got a couple of things. Like it's a couple of, I think, little small breweries back there. So that's a good spot. I like that. I think I went there for St. Patrick's Day. Actually, I do remember now. It was the St. Patrick's Day, the pandemic, when everything shut down. We went to 1912 Brewing first, and then we went to what's the place on Oracle? The New Orleans, the New Orleans place, New Orleans style. Oh gosh.
I love that place.
My favorite.
You can never help me with these names. I'm J-Dub.
Well, I wouldn't know. I don't think I've ever been to the New Orleans place.
It's the New Orleans style food up on Oracle there, right? It's a little bit further up from Mr. On's. Oh gosh, I'll come up with it.
Yeah.
Since nobody else can come up with it for me.
So is that like Ghost Town? If you went there during the pandemic, right after the pandemic?
No. This was the day that everything shut down.
Right.
Yeah, that was St. Patrick's Day.
Remember they said everything's shutting down at 9?
I was here.
It was on St. Patrick's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went out before that. And because we didn't know we didn't know if we were ever going to get to go out again.
Exactly.
So we did everything we could.
So you had some fun that night.
We did have fun that night. It was fun.
Good.
Yeah. And then it was over. And then we were shut in for months.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Barely.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, Cricket, have a great weekend. What are you doing?
You too. I have a broadcast tomorrow.
She's gonna walk dogs.
I'm going to walk dogs. Could I tell you what?
You've got a remote?
Yeah. It's for our sister station, but tomorrow from noon to 2 at the corner of River and Stone, I'm going to be selling 20 ribeyes for $40.
Awesome.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you haven't seen prices like that since
so you can get 20 ribeyes for $40?
Yes.
Wow.
And they also have big package deals. You can also get strip steaks, chicken, pork, and seafood. But that's the big deal. 20 ribeye, $40 tomorrow, noon to 2 at River and Stone.
All right.
So
and this is
by.
for the FM. Which FM station? Which FM sister station is that?
107.5.
107.5.
You don't need permission to promote sister stations promos. Cricket.
I just wanted to be sure that if I could say that here.
You can say that here. We're all one big happy family. We love each other. All right. Well, have fun and have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday.
Thank you.
And traffic now.
Yes, from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. With collisions reported, Rosemont South of Speedway, 22nd Street and Craycroft. Slowdowns for Ajo and Mission, southbound La Cholla at Ajo Way. Also eastbound I-10 busy as you approach the Ajo-Kino connection. Rain into this evening, probably between about 10 and maybe 1 a.m. 42 the overnight low, sunny, 59 tomorrow, and 54 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Albertsons and Safeway. Albertsons and Safeway pharmacies make it easy to get your flu shot and updated COVID booster. Protect your home, office, and community. Walk-ins are welcome, or skip the line by making an appointment online. They're free with most insurance. Some restrictions apply. See pharmacy for details.
Did you miss the big game? We got you covered.
Got a man wide open to the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Arizona. Nobody close to Tetaroa McMillan.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Chris Brockman here from the world-famous Rich Eisen Show. The big game is here. The stakes are higher than ever. And there's no better way to turn playoff football's big game energy into 100 times your money than Prize Picks. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of stats, place your entry, boom, it's that easy. You could turn $10 into $1,000 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and an enormous selection of players and stat options are what makes Prize Picks the #1 daily sports fantasy app. Get in the lab and cook up your winning entry. Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million football fans who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks is matching your first deposit up to $100 when you download the Prize Picks app and use the code PRIMETIME. That's code PRIMETIME on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-261-8250 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-261-8250. That's 800-261-8250. What do you have to lose? Call 800-261-8250. Again, 800-261-8250.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was. And even better. Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Listen to the home of the Wildcats wherever you are on your iPhone and iPad by downloading our new app in the App Store so you can tune in wherever you are 24 hours a day. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
He's kind and he's funny and he's also mustachioed. He solves all your problems by the end of every episode. TV Dad. Everyone loves TV Dad. Never hollers, and he tells you how Progressive can save you lots of dollars.
Listen to your TV Dad. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program tonight. We've got about another half hour with you this evening. Don't forget to take 1290 with you wherever you go. Text app to 520-848-1290. That is text app to 520-848-1290. We will send you the link to download the Wildcats Radio 1290 app for your phone so you can take us wherever you go. We'll have to check and see if that sweet deal. We had that sweet deal on sale today, this morning. I hope you got a chance to get on over to our website at 8:30 this morning for that sweet deal to Tesoro Latin Kitchen and Cantina. We'll have to see if there's still any of those that are left for you. There might be, but those things usually go pretty quick, especially the good ones. So I'm not sure if you'll have a chance to get, but you'll just have to kind of go over on your own dime and get one of those. Also coming up later in this hour before we get out of here, I'm going to tell you about a chance to win a trip to the Pac-12 men's basketball tournament that is coming up in a little over a month now. It's getting closer, J-Dub. March is, well, we just got to February, but March is just around the corner.
It comes fast at you.
It does. It comes fast at you. So we're talking in the last half hour. We heard from Tyrese Halliburton, the talented young guard from the Indiana Pacers, who chimed in on the 65-game minimum that you need to, at least in a season, to be qualify for awards, any of the major awards in the National Basketball Association. And JW brought up that he's a young man that also is trying to qualify for an All-NBA squad to be able to get into one of the max salary categories that he would like to be in. And I mentioned that I'm fine. These new rules about load management and having to play a certain number of games, I'm all about it. I think the stars should be out there. I think these guys sit too many games.
Yeah.
I come from an era where guys played 80.
We just talked
82.
about the 61-62 Chamberlain year.
Yeah.
You know how many minutes he didn't play in that year? 8.
8 minutes he did not play.
8 minutes he sat.
Wow.
8 minutes. He played in every game. Didn't play on the court in 8 minutes the entire season.
Yeah, exactly. So the round mound of rebound, or should we say the round mouth of rebound?
Call him Chuck.
Chuck. He always has something to say. Well, here's what Chuck. Now, is Chuck speaking specifically about Tyrese's?
He's asked about the 65 game thing.
Okay, he's talking about the 65 game rule. So let's hear what Chuck had to say about it all.
Let me answer that question. These players got nobody to blame but themselves. The Players Association signed off on the deal. I thought it should have been 70 games, honestly, personally.
Rather than 65.
Yeah, 1 in 65.
Like 70 games.
But these guys have put themselves in a situation where they didn't respect the game and started resting and load managing. And the NBA had to do something. These fans, man, they get to see these guys one time a year. They're paying all these monies for tickets, and these guys are making $30, $40, $50, $60 million. They need to play. It's unfortunate what happened to him, but I hear all these guys whining about, well, he's not fair. He can play.
It's a bad rule.
It's a bad rule. Yeah. It's a fair rule, in my opinion. 65 games, I told you, I thought it should have been 70.
So Charles played 16 seasons in the NBA. Let's just go down his list here. 82-80, 68-80, 79-79, 67-75, 76, 65-68-71, 53-68, 42-20.
Yeah,
so pretty much his entire career, he met that 65-game minimum.
That's thanks to Moses Malone. You know that story, right? Chuck, I don't remember the team, but coming out of college in Auburn,
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions reported, Craycroft near Sunrise on Craycroft to the north of Sunrise Drive, 22nd Street and Craycroft. Also a crash Rosemont near Speedway on Rosemont to the south of Speedway Boulevard. Some busy traffic for Ajo and Mission, also southbound La Cholla at Ajo Way, and expect a lot of extra traffic in the area of downtown Tucson near I-10. Rain into this evening, 42 the low, sunny, 59 tomorrow, and 54 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
In 1924, Studebaker turned down Frank O'Reilly. So he went with Chevy, and the rest is history. 100 years of history, and we're celebrating it on March 23rd, and you're invited.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
This report is sponsored by Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. At Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, they'll help you with any air conditioning, drain, or pipe issues. Trust the big guy. Contact Tucson's most respected AC and plumbing experts anytime at coolwillies.com, where they are big enough to help and small enough to care. That's coolwillies.com.
Happy New Year, guys. That was right in my ear.
Oh, good. I see you're doing the whole baby New Year costume with the diaper and the sash.
Time to make resolutions. I resolved not to look at you dressed like that. People should start the new year by fixing up their heating and air system.
That's true. Alaskan AC can fix the stuff other companies can't.
Again, right in my ear. Plus, the Grizzly.
Right. The Grizzly is our custom-built AC made to take a chomp out of Arizona summers.
Still winter, guys. And we can fix up heaters to save our customers gobs of money. Gobs.
We believe in fixing before replacing.
What's a gob?
An Alaska-fied system is one that will last longer
and is guaranteed to be repair-free for an entire year. Woohoo! I swear, one more time with that thing.
Good resolution, Gary. Let's get out there and help people fix up their systems and save some real money.
All right. Probably should have told him to put some clothes on first.
Yeah.
Schedule now at AlaskanAC.com.
Make sure you download or update the Wildcats Radio 1290 app. We've got the entire state covered like no other sports radio station in southern Arizona. Plus, when you have the app, you can cover U of A sports with Wildcats Radio 1290 anywhere and everywhere you go and out of town, too. The mountains, the beach, working out, or maybe even...
Oh, no. Turn that off.
Download or update the Wildcats Radio 1290 app today and never miss a moment of sports analysis. Well, maybe an occasional moment. Wildcats Radio 1290.
We're celebrating 99 years, 8 seconds at a time. The 99th La Fiesta de los Vaqueros Tucson Rodeo returns February 17th to 25th with action-packed fun for the whole family. Plus delicious food, beer garden, shopping, kids activities, and the Coors Barn Dance. La Fiesta de los Vaqueros Tucson Rodeo, February 17th through 25th at the Tucson Rodeo Grounds. Get your tickets today at 520-741-2233 or TucsonRodeo.com.
This just in, Goodfellas AC is matching up to $2,000 on federal tax credit.
Whoa, seriously? This is unbelievable. I gotta call Floyd at Goodfellas.
Hello, Goodfellas. Floyd speaking.
Is it true about the $2,000?
It sure is. Homeowners like you may qualify for a 30% federal tax credit up to $2,000 on qualifying heat pumps. And Goodfellas will match the tax credit dollar for dollar up to $2,000. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-254-5040. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-254-5040 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-254-5040 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-254-5040.
Cookie wants to be a professional wrestler.
I'm Cookie Serratos and I'm 11 years old.
She also wants to win all the medals. That's why Cookie and her family make every day count, squeezing out her best with Go-Go Squeeze.
Okay, Cookie, let's break for a Go-Go Squeeze.
Go-Go Squeeze fruit on the go pouches are a nutritious snack made from 100% fruit with no sugar added.
Go, Cookie!
Because when you nurture your kids, you squeeze out the best in them. Squeeze out the best with Go-Go Squeeze. Not a low-calorie food. Products range from 11 to 13 grams of sugar and 60 to 70 calories per serving.
Why does 1290 run this town?
It's simple. 1290 is the only radio station that can bring you Thursday, Sunday, Monday Night Football, the NFL playoffs, and the Super Bowl. Scoreboard 1290.
This is the home of the Wildcats.
This is Wildcats Radio 1290. DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, so we will not have anything for you tomorrow here on Wildcats Radio 1290. That's rare for us not to have anything at all on a Saturday during football and basketball season. We don't get too many of those opportunities here. So we'll take some time off and refresh the batteries again. Like I said, the fellas get 2 days off in between their games this week. The ladies get two days off in between their games next week on the road, as they'll play UCLA Friday and Monday of next week, as there'll be no Pac-12 women's basketball games on Super Bowl Sunday.
Days off did they have this week?
Well, they had the entire week off this week. Yeah, they had 2 days. In fact, that's what Adia said. They had 2 days off where they didn't even practice because they only had one game. So, yeah, they got some time to refresh and recharge the batteries, especially, in fact, let's hear once more from Adia Barnes before we leave today, because Helena Puello has had to play a lot of minutes lately. And because of the limited numbers that they have on this team, she's in many instances played the entire game without coming out as Helena Puello. So Adia Barnes talked about that this week, talked about how she's dealing with having to play such high minutes.
Been very hard. Like, if you ask her, she would never say that. But I actually saw that in the game against Stanford. You saw I sat her the last, 4:30, because I saw she looked super pale. And I was like, I'm not, for me, we're down 20 points at that time. I'm not going to risk playing her and risking an injury. I just saw in her eyes she would have gone back in, but I just know her after 5 years. So I just didn't want to risk it. It's been hard. It's hard because Helena's always guarding one of the best guards. So, she always, with our starting lineup, she always had the hardest assignment. So you're having to, and she does a lot of facilitating, and the offense runs through her a lot. So she's having to guard screens, and guard a ton of action for a best player. It's not easy. So, but.
You said this before about her and the fact that she might have lines where she has 0 points, but 7 assists on Sunday, and other games where she's doing so much. You mentioned, and she's been here the whole time, but you mentioned when you're going to recruit potential portal transfers in 5th years that stats matter then for the next level. She's obviously sacrificing a little bit of that for this leadership role, but I'm guessing from your perspective and hers, and she said this, that it's worth it because it's allowing her to be that leader.
Yeah, I think everything she does is great. Like, for me, I don't care. Like, I obviously want her to shoot 15 times. I want her to, take 8 threes because she's good. But the games when she's not, or she's fatigued, she's still impacting the game. She's still getting deflections. She's still facilitating, running the offense, playing 4 positions for me every time. I move her around when I can. Sky's young. I'm not going to move Sky around a lot because, then she's got to think, then she's thinking. So I'll move Helena. Sometimes she'll bring up the ball, move her to the 4. Sometimes, you inbound the ball on the press, but you're the 4. Or you're the guard doing it, however I shift her. And she does whatever I ask and never complains and is willing to do whatever to win. So those are the type of selfless players you want. And, I would take 10 Helenas, in a heartbeat. Great teammate, does everything. Is so unselfish. I mean, a lot of players do not approach the game like her, and I think you've been seeing us the last couple of games play super unselfish and play team on offense and defense, and that's really important. And that's the way I want to play, and that's the way this program is going to play. So, whatever that looks like with whoever that looks like, but that's what we're going to do. The other way doesn't work, and I think people get frustrated or people become spectators, and that's not the way to play basketball. That's not how you win.
So Adia has alluded to before that Helena is a diabetic, and so that's part of it. She took her out in that Stanford game because they were down 20 after playing 33 minutes, and they were out of the game, and there was no need to risk Helena's health anymore at that point. But just check out these minute numbers in the 7 games prior to last Sunday against Stanford. Cal, 40 minutes. Washington State, 39 minutes. Washington, 38 minutes. Oregon, 39 minutes. Oregon State, which went to triple overtime, 49 minutes. Utah, which went to overtime, 45 minutes. And then Colorado, which went down to the buzzer, 40 minutes. That is the last 7 games before Helena played just 33 in the loss to Stanford. She had averaged pretty close to over 40 minutes per ball game.
Who does Helena Puello think she is? Will Chamberlain?
This year, she's got to be. This year, she's got to be. And I know I get on her because she doesn't score enough, and she'll put up some goose eggs, and that can be frustrating at times. But she, she's a very valuable piece to this puzzle. And I was talking about it. Really, she's the last one standing from. It was, if you go back, it was what Adia was saying earlier tonight about the championship year, which was 2021 when they went to the national championship game, and that was Helena's sophomore year. And Adia was saying how she wished she had played some of the younger kids a little bit more that year than she did, because she had 4 freshmen on that team and she had 3 sophomores. And of those 7 girls, Helena's the only one that's left. Madison Connor was a freshman on that team. Now, she was an early arriving freshman, so she was actually a year ahead of schedule and sat the bench and played a little bit. So really her true freshman year wasn't until the next year, 21-22. But Madison's gone. Darren Aragon was a freshman on that team. She's gone. Marta Garcia was a freshman on that team. She's gone. Lauren Ware was a freshman on that team. She's gone. Tara Malamalayunga was a sophomore on that team. She's gone. She's at TCU. Both her and Maddie Connor are both on that TCU team that had to cancel games this year due to injury. And Mara Mote was the other sophomore on that team, and she's gone. So Helena's the only one out of that 7 group of the underclassmen from the national championship team that made it all the way through to the end. So kudos to Helena for that. She'll be a very highly thought of Wildcat when she's gone.
For sure.
When you talk about that. Well, it'll be interesting to see what type of professional career that she has, because she certainly can defend. There's no question about that. She can defend at all 5 positions, as we've heard. And she definitely knows how to take the basketball away from the opponent. So Arizona women's basketball on Sunday against ASU. Our coverage will begin at 11:30 a.m. Derek Palmer takes over at 11:45. Tip-off shortly after noon against the Sun Devils. ASU got their butts kicked in Tempe by the Wildcats earlier in the year. They're going to be looking for some retribution, and they're playing a little bit better. Although they've dealt with some injuries as well, the Sun Devils have won 2 of their last 3 coming in. So that's a positive for them. And they'll try to carry that momentum into here on Sunday. So our coverage of men's basketball will begin as soon as Derek Palmer is done on Sunday, preferably ideally around 2:15. We'll come on the air with the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off show. We'll take you till 5, and then tip-off at 6 o'clock with Brian Jeffries and Ryan Hansen, the Arizona Wildcats and the Stanford Cardinal. What are you going to do with yourself tomorrow, J-Dub?
I'm just going to relax, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions reported Craycroft, north of Sunrise Drive. Also Rosemont, south of Speedway. 22nd Street in Craycroft, possible collision Elm and Campbell, and possibly northbound restrictions and slowdowns. And rain into this evening, 42. The overnight low, sunny, 59 tomorrow, and 53 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the ultimate playground for online social casino enthusiasts. Get ready to live the Chumba life and play over 100 online casino-style games for free at ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group, no purchase.